Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer.
And I'm Steve.
And he's making me do something.
Yep.
He has challenged me to color with nothing but the color white.
Can you do it?
I think I can.
I bet you can.
And the reason I think I can is because we recently did a video where I compared over 60 different white color pencils, and I'm going to put up on the screen right now the swatches from those white color pencils. Now, Steve, explain to them why you gave me this challenge.
As we were looking at those swatches, we noticed that white doesn't mean white across the board. You know, you look at all of those are white pencils, but some look gray, some lean warm, some lean cool. And so I thought, you know, that would be make for a cool coloring page.
Yeah.
To just use those whites right there that are available to you.
Yep. So he challenged me to do it, and I took on his challenge, and that's what this video is all about. So I'm going to give you a little taste of what my color along videos are like during this video. What we do here at Coloring Bliss is over on our website, I have full-length color along videos where you get to see me work through an entire coloring page and color the whole thing and give you all the tools and techniques and everything. So in this video, I'm going to give you a little taste of what those are like. If you've ever wondered about them and wondered if they would be helpful, this is a little taste for you of what those are like. So, all right, let's see how this goes.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, to get us started, there is an art concept that is going to become extremely important here as I work with this little challenge that Steve has given me. And that concept is a concept I've been working on for years, and that is contrast. So mainly what contrast is putting two things up next to each other and showing the difference between those two things. So it could be two different colors, it can be two different textures. There's a lot of different ways to display contrast in your art. So for me today with this mandala, it's going to be trying to show contrast between the background, which is black, and then the different kinds of whites, and trying to show the differences. That's kind of the challenge as I see it. So we have a lot to choose from, and as I showed you a little bit earlier, we have them all swatched, and there's a lot of differences in the colors that I can choose from. So I think what I need to do right away is choose some of these pencils that have extreme contrast in the way they pay off on black. So something that is really, really light and something that is showing kind of dark. So this is going to be tricky too, because when I say light, does that mean a really opaque, or does that mean, anyway, this is going to be a tricky thing to talk about. So give me a minute here. I'm going to pick out a few pencils and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here are two pencils that really show off this idea of contrast really well. This is that Fano China marker and the Jane Davenport white unicorn pencil. And you can see a big contrast between these two whites. So these two will be really good to use. And now I just need to pick some others. Some of them kind of leaned a little yellow, some of them leaned a little blue. So I'm hoping to take advantage of that as well. So I'm going to go through and pick a few others that I think that will show up with some different contrast and look a little different. Okay, so here's a few that I've picked to kind of get me started, and for different reasons. Of course, this one is a really strong white, but he doesn't blend well, so he'll be reserved for really good highlight moments. The Jane Davenport is a really weak white, not very opaque at all, so that one will be really good for a very light color. And then, of course, this Crayola Signature is a very bluish white, and you can see it right here next to this Mitsubishi one, which is a very yellowy white. And then the Derwent Drawing was our overall #1 best white pencil, so we definitely want to be using that. And then the Prismacolor Color Race, just as I was looking over all the swatches, that one kept jumping out at me as kind of a unique texture and a unique color, so I think that one will offer us some different coloration as I'm coloring with all these whites. So I think these will be where I will begin, and then I can sort of reach for more as we work. So that's my goal, is to try to get some good contrast as we're working on this mandala. Now I need to pick the mandala, and for that we're going to be working in this book, which is Mandala Bliss Volume 5, available at Coloring Bliss. This one is an awesome book if you like very simple mandalas that give you large open spaces to experiment and play with. You can have this printed on a variety of different papers. This one I have printed on our Bliss Black paper, and it's perfect for this particular project. So I'm going to flip through here and see what jumps out at me as something that I am interested in coloring on today, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the page I ended up picking. I'll move it in the light so you can see the pattern. Oh, it's such a pretty, almost like a stained glass window type effect that I drew here. I'm excited about working on this one. So I need to do a little bit of pondering and looking at the 5 pencils. Is it 5 or 6? 6 pencils that I've picked so far, and kind of, like I said, plan out where are the brightest, most opaque moments going to happen and where are the most translucent moments going to happen, and think through that. And I have my pencil sharpener ready. This whole jar is dedicated to nothing but white pencil shavings, so we're going to continue to add to this. This is from our big battle of the white color pencils, so it's kind of cool that this is nothing but a white pencil shavings. So we'll see how much more I can add to that as we color and work on this. So I'll do a little bit of work and you can enjoy watching me color, and I'll be back in a minute to share with you what I am learning so far. Okay, so I've taken the Jane Davenport, which, like I said, is a very translucent pencil, and done some coloring here. And right away, I'm going to remind you that for this project, if you're going to try it, you're going to want a brush to help manage the stray crumbs, because a lot of these white pencils are very crummy. Now I'm also using a paper stump here. This is a blending stump, which is just basically compressed paper into like a pencil shape with a point at one end. And what I tried doing, because I kind of don't like that it's giving an inconsistent texture. It's picking up on the textures of the papers, my strokes, 100 different imperfections, and I just wanted sort of a light finish here. And so I thought, well, I wonder if I go over it with a blending stump and sort of polish in let me go to the other view so you can see how good this is working. So I'm hoping, and it's working, by polishing in with the blending stump, that it would gently push the little bits of pigment down into the texture of the paper. So I'm not exactly burnishing. Burnishing is applying a lot of pressure and getting rid of all the texture, squashing it all flat on your paper. What I'm more doing is sort of polishing. That's more what I would call this. I don't know if that's a technical term or me just making things up, but that's what I'm doing. Light to medium pressure and polishing over all my strokes. And you can see the difference really well right here between this section that I haven't polished and this section here. It's much more transparent translucent and a smoother section. So I think I'll be able to go back on top of it even more if I decide to add more details, but it's really bringing out that translucent nature of the Jane Davenport pencil. So really cool way to use that pencil. And again, I'm kind of excited because this was the loser pencil, but I think it's going to get used a lot. And it comes back to showing you that there really are no loser tools, it's just how you use them. So cool, I'm gonna keep working. Okay, so I feel like this pencil here, my yellowish white that I'm doing along this row here, is sort of getting lost with the blue out here. Not enough contrast. So I'm going to grab my black eraser. This is the Factus Black 18 eraser. I think this is by Generals. I think that's who makes this guy. And he works really good on this black paper. So I am going to ever so slightly remove, because here I did it really light out here, almost no Mitsubishi pencil out at the very end, and I think it looks better contrast. So if I just buff some of this out with this black eraser, I think it will overall stand out better against the Crayola signature pencil, which is the blue tinted white that's below it. Other than that, I like how things are going, so I'm just going to continue. It's one of the things I love about mandalas is you get to make one color decision and then sit back and just repeat it around and just enjoy the process of laying color down. It's very relaxing, very zen-like. I really enjoy doing mandalas. They're not my only favorite thing to color, but I really do love the process of making a decision and then just repeating it and relaxing. It's very nice. Okay, I just finished this section right here of the mandala, and I used the Prismacolor Color Erase, which was this one right here that I was excited about trying. Now, after having good success using the black eraser along this section here, I got thinking, well, the Color Erase, it's an erasable one, so I should try using that technique on the Prismacolor Color Erase. So that's what I did here. I colored it in really nice and heavy along here, which is still a very translucent pencil, so a lot of the black is shining up through. And then I grabbed this eraser right here. This is the Tombow Mono Zero, very small eraser. It's really quite a cool little tool. But I don't use it much because it's such a small eraser, but it's perfect for really precise erasing. And what I'm doing is not really erasing the white, but just sort of taking off a small layer of it so that it leaves a halo of the white, and you get this cool effect. So it's not true black, just a tiny bit of the white. And I like what I'm getting, the good contrast between sort of a translucent white out to almost black, but not quite at the edge of that part of the mandala. I am really liking how this is turning out. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I'm finally starting to add in the brightest whites. So for that, I'm bringing in the Derwent Drawing Chinese White, and I'm going to try using this Fano China Marker White as well. And I'm kind of keeping the brightest whites here in the center so the eye will hopefully move in. And then I was going to do pops of the brightest white out here as well. And then I have a plan for out here that I'm still pondering. So there's a few things that I like and some that I don't like, and I don't know. One of the things I'm pondering also is this spot right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, there's a spot that I am considering leaving black to have a moment of black. But right now, I don't know if there's enough contrast between what I colored behind that. So I'll ponder that as I'm coloring in this part here. Okay, I just added in the white here with this Fano China Marker pencil, and oh, it's so bright and white. No wonder it won the #1 slot for making details and highlights. But it doesn't hold a point, and it's kind of chunky, so it's hard to work with, and boy does it leave a lot of crumbs. But it does its job, so you just got to work with its properties. Okay, now for the outer border. Ooh, I'm so excited. I love how this is turning out. Okay, so this is the pencil I have been wanting to use for the background. The Mega Color Cretacolor with the big core. I think it'll go really easily for filling in the background. Yeah, you'll see what I kind of have in mind, sort of a vignette background. If you have if you've been wanting some help with backgrounds, we've got a whole course full of background ideas for you with the Bliss Partner Workshop series. Come and check it out. Okay, there it is. I think it's done. I keep seeing white crumbs on it, but I really like how the background turned out. I wanted it to feel kind of glowy. So the next thing is to reveal it to Steve, but I wanted you to see the finished product. These were the only pencils of all the 62 that we tested, the white pencils. These are the pencils that I ended up using on this page. If you are curious, it ended up being a really good exercise in contrast and practicing how to make that work well. And I used a couple erasers, my blending stump, a brush, of course a pencil sharpener, but other than that, it's just white color pencils, and I am so excited to show this to Steve. So let's do that next. Okay, you're back. And just so you know, real time, that coloring of that mandala took me about 3 hours to get that done. So 3 hours all with just white, and I'm telling you, I'm craving some new colors. I can't wait to color with something other than white.
Can't wait to see
Here
what
we
it looks
go.
like.
Let's bring this over and we'll do the reveal. Oh, don't look, don't look. Here we go, bring it over.
I peeked.
Oh, and there it is.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll turn it this way because that's kind of the way I imagined it.
Yeah, that is so cool. I love it.
So, like I told all of you, my hardest thing was the contrast. These were the pencils I used. I also used some erasers. I'm going to have Steve put links to everything that I use. So if you are interested in trying any of these products or pencils, we'll try to link. I don't think we have links to some of these, like the Jane Davenport, but we'll link as many as we can.
Yeah.
And we'll also link the video where I tested all 60 pencils in case you're curious about the results of that video.
I would never
here it
guess
is.
those were all white pencils.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up. Let me tell you the things I'm unhappy with first. I'll point those out because I'll get that out of the way. I don't like how I did the center. I was trying for sort of a, what's it called when they cut the diamond in a faceted. I was trying to make it look sort of faceted. Do you think I succeeded? I think I can practice that. And I must admit, by the end of the 3 hours, I was getting tired. And so on the background, I think I was a little sloppy. I could have done a smoother job transitioning from the white to the black for the gradient, or what's it called, the reverse vignettes. So I think I was getting tired and I kind of rushed it. But other than that, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I love the subtle chain things I did out here, so that the eye goes straight to the middle. That's what I wanted, was the eye to go whoosh right into the middle. I love all the, the slight yellows, the slight blues, and like you said, would you guess that it's all white? No, not at all.
I would have thought grays for sure.
So cool.
And it's cool to me how you used, like you said, the cools and the warms.
Yeah, this is the warm here, and the warms.
Those, and then you use those that are really opaque and those that are more translucent to create depth. Wow. That's
so
really
much
cool.
fun.
Good job.
Thank you.
I knew you could do it.
Aw, you're so kind. I was about halfway through, I got nervous because some of the things weren't working. And it was when I brought in the eraser that things changed again, because you could bring back that dark black. And that really helped with the contrast. It's all about contrast. That's the magic word for this video.
Well, I think you succeeded.
Aw, thank you. Well, I want to thank you for the challenge because, again, contrast is one of those art techniques that I've been pushing myself to get better at, and I think this really helped me, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And I challenge you now to take on something that scares you a little bit. Try something out of the box, like coloring all with one color. See how that turns out. That would be a fun challenge. Now, also over at Coloring Bliss, we are teaching how to color with white pencils. It's a 3-part workshop series. It's fantastic. We're blending with white pencils, tinting with white pencils, and it's a total of 5 different techniques that I'm teaching, and there's going to be a real-time color along with it as well. So come and check out that workshop series too. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and come and check out our full-length color along videos if you'd like to color along with me in another way. We've got lots of fun videos that you can see and try. All right, well, thanks again for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.